Hello, GitLab. This is Danielle Morrill. I'm the Senior Director of Inbound Marketing. Today, I have with me Michael and Jeff from my team. We are going to go over the inbound marketing OKRs and the team OKRs, both from a tops-down view and also from a bottom-up view to understand how everything fits together. So let me go ahead and share my screen. So the process for creating the inbound marketing OKRs you see here started with the CEO OKRs, and then those cascaded down to the CMO, and then down to CMO staff, which is where I sit, and then down to Michael and Jeff's teams. And now we'll cascade them down eventually to the individual level. And the mission there is to make sure everyone understands how the day-to-day work they do connects back to driving the company's goals. So you can wake up every day and know that what you're working on is the most important thing and it matters. So we have 3 objectives for the inbound marketing team. Deliver the enterprise buyer experience on about.gitlab.com. This is all about making sure we can acquire more large inquiries. And the key results are increasing the large inquiries attributed to inbound from some number to some other number. We need to baseline this still, but we'll establish that. And then also to increase traffic to about.gitlab.com/enterprise, or maybe somewhere else, but wherever that experience lives, we want traffic going there. Objective number 2 is to complete an end-to-end inbound funnel tune-up. So we've made a lot of changes. The website has changed, some of our processes have changed, and we just need to make sure that each step of the funnel is flowing nicely, the steps that we control. This is about getting traffic growing again. It's about getting referral traffic coming in both from our product and from docs. And we will ultimately want to see volumes of inquiries going up. Lastly, update GitLab brand and message on top 20 pages. So this is pretty cross-functional. I think you all are pretty aware that the corporate marketing team has been working on sorting out our brand story and message at the company level, and then the product marketing team has been working on this at the product level. So we need to make sure we're supporting both of those teams and integrating those messages into the key pages. And lastly, there's a pretty big section down here called other organization goals. This is acknowledging that there's a lot of other work that happens in inbound marketing that doesn't necessarily cascade from OKRs that we still feel we need to do to continue to make progress with the business. This calls out some of the other cross-functional commitments that we have, including supporting localization. The brand message work to some extent is in that last one I just talked about. We have quality and maintenance, including technical debt that we need to deal with. We have hiring we need to do, especially in Jeff's team, as far as kind of rebuilding the content marketing and editorial teams. And then, of course, our planning process that we keep iterating over can always get better. So we want to continue to work on that for the next quarter. I'm just calling out some of the highlights, but there's obviously a lot more detailed here. But I'm going to hand it over now to Jeff and Michael to talk about those details and help you see the way that your feedback has been bottoms up, built in, considered into these goals. So maybe first up, could we have Michael go?
Yeah, I can go. I'll continue sharing where you left off. Of course, I have the hit black theme, so it might look a little different, same content. So jumping into this first one, deliver enterprise buyer experience on about.gitlab.com. I've reviewed with Jess on my team, my product designer, one of the product designers in our team, how we would go about delivering this. So just high level, 1 to 6. So Jess and I collabed on this. I took the first stab and we just talked. Like, I just wanted to say, hey, Jess, this is about how I think we would get this done. Does this give you enough direction, yet enough space to do it how you would do it? But at least add something to this conversation so it's not just a concept. So to do this, we're going to review current data, do some user research. Through that, we'll start to identify opportunities and weaknesses, design the optimal buyer's journey, define a measurement and reporting plan in advance, and then deliver all those touch points. So design, engineering, etc. So actually making it happen from a data-informed point of view. So very excited about this one. Scrolling down further into the end-to-end tune-up of the funnel. Things that I added again in our how to achieve is continue working, collaborating with Sindhu. Jeff, you're involved as well on properly instrumenting Google Analytics. So we've been talking about definitions and requirement, documentation needs. We need to do some annoying code stuff where we're converting all the tracking from using classes and IDs to using the HTML data attribute. Right now, it's pretty invisible what's getting tracked. So a lot of things keep getting inadvertently broken. And then add GA360 to all the marketing site. We also improving inquiries, increasing page views by adding a personalized homepage featured content sections. So that's ideally, it'll start with an MVC of just adding 3 to the homepage. We can start to feature some merchandisable content. And then my hope is we can add some personalization. Talking about adding links to the docs to drive traffic. We'll see how that goes. I think, Jeff, you're going to take point on that to start. And then we still have the add marketing footer to product. That's one we would be happy to do the design and do the initial consultation and collaboration, and then we can figure out who delivers what. Then kind of jumping down past the top 20 pages, like we're here to help implement anything. The cross-functional commitments, we're doing great on those. Customer reference pages is something that I think is an opportunity we can help to update. Luckily, it fits in with a lot of the existing work we're doing. So diving into quality and maintenance, so tech debt, documentation, optimizing the navigation. I have, like, where I'm at with planning for our team is I just need to kind of bring everything in one view. Like, jumping through GitLab is great. I find the way my brain works is I want to make sure that if I'm looking at it in one view, I'm making commitments that I can hold up to. Because when you're cooking from issue to issue, for me, I'm like, oh yeah, we can do all of this. And then I put it in a list. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's like way too much work. So this is already feeling like a lot of work. So we'll still try and deliver on all of this, but we're starting to write links, and I'm thinking about who on our teams is most interested in this kind of work and who would do a great job. So this is just an overview of what we saw. I have a feeling we're probably gonna have to cut 2, but the quality and maintenance one I wanted to call out was repo health. We keep getting just bitten by this continually. It's like the concept of taking your medicine. We can keep pushing this down the road, or like buying insurance, but it keeps popping up. So would love to have a period of time to really focus on this. OneTrust, the new cookie bot replacement implementation seems to be going well. Our marketing ops partners need some assistance from us, so we're going to try and bring that in. So that's how I'm approaching everything, and have consumed everything so far. Any questions?
Oh, that was great, Michael. Thank you.
Awesome. Jeff, I'll pass it to you.
Great. Thank you. And I'll share my screen. Our draft OKRs are in a doc at this point. Can you all see the doc? Is that okay? So for global content, our top is grow traffic. As part of our compass, we have an overall goal for the company of overall traffic to grow 20%. A couple of specific things underneath that is, one, to improve our distribution strategy, and then 2 is as we've broken down the overall traffic, where as the inbound team, we can really have impact is on the about section, about.gitlab.com, and specifically the blog and the topics section. So as part of this quarter, we're going to break out and look at the about section and what we can expect for growth in the about section, and also on the blog and the topic section. Related to the next one is we're working on our staffing. So part of growth will be dependent on how soon we can hire new team members. So grow traffic, one. The second one is, I just mentioned, is staffing. The content team 6 months ago had 6 people. Now we have 2 people. So we have 4 open positions. And so we're actively working on that, but that's one of the top priorities for the next quarter. And then also to extend our GitLab team through contractors and agencies. It's a little bit of a, so that's what we're going to work on the staffing side for Q3. And then under, as we talked about the improvements for our key 20 pages, and specifically underneath that is working closely with Michael's team. We have a schedule now for the homepage banner and the homepage hero, and we're tracking the effectiveness of different homepage heroes and different homepage banners. So we're going to provide feedback to the business of what resonates with our audience and what does not resonate with the audience. And longer term for the key pages is to work cross-functionally to come up with a company-wide, literally editorial calendar. What are the big themes that we're focusing on month to month, quarter to quarter, which would hopefully help feed into what are we focused on. So that's, in a sense, those are the big three things I'm focused on. I've broken it down into each of our sub-teams on global content. And the first sub-team is the content marketing team, which is literally just Surrey right now. And the theme is a little bit on these, we're unfortunately in the keep the lights on mode, or let's keep the aircraft flying. So for Surrey, big issues are just support our go-to-market motions. That's the number one thing. And that's ongoing email, editorial work for commits happening next week, all the content requirements for that, and support the blog. And I list also some of the things that we're not able to do right now, that as we add to the team, we can take these back on and talk about hiring for a content marketing manager and a manager of content marketing. Editorial, very similar. Sarah's leading editorial. Right now, it's just supporting the incoming contributions and looking at ways that we can improve our current processes, so we could even support more incoming traffic, and in what we're not doing, and then our hiring. Digital production is very busy for this quarter. There's a lot already that's come in that we're working on over the next quarter. Some of the big highlights are obviously commit, our 10-year anniversary coming up, however form and shape contribute takes, and the potentially as more remote could be more video. In addition, they're working on SEO best practice for all videos. And I skipped at the very top for digital production. One of the key things is part of their template of really asking clients, what is the distribution strategy? If we're going to create a video, how are we going to maximize that? The last piece on the team is, what is SEO focused on? And there's always SEO work, ongoing maintenance, that as Google changes their algorithms, what we need to do on our web pages, we work closely with Michael's team in terms of the Google Health Analytics and our core web vitals for how fast our pages load, and also working with the SEO team of, hey, can they help us on the content side of providing some templates of content that we'd like to create. So that's a little bit my team. Then I have a section of here, we work closely with Michael's team, and as Michael's team OKRs get refined, that we be sure that we have the support for the things on Michael's list, and he just talked about the customer reference page, personalization on the home page, and localization. And that's what our plans are for Q3.
Awesome. How you feeling? How you guys feeling about this plan?
If it holds, I'm feeling good.
It's a lot of work.
I just want to make sure we talk for a moment, for the benefit of everybody who watches this video as well as you. OKRs are meant to be ambitious, right? If we get 70% of this done, we are in really good shape. Mm-hmm. So I think it's important to remember that that's really why we set such aggressive goals, is because we know we're going to learn a lot. The quarter is going to start, and we're probably going to, discover some things that just aren't as important, and some new things that are. So I just want to make sure that, at the end of Q2 also, there's some things we didn't end up doing, but we picked better things to do that made a bigger impact. So just remember, yes, this is a lot. We get 70% of the way there, we are in great shape. And then we can reassess that last 30% as candidates for the next quarter. And that's why our planning process is so valuable for us. So
one iteration and learning I implemented over the last quarter too, Jeff, that might be helpful for you is like my team works in 2-week sprints. And the way the sprint works is the start of the sprint, we make our plan and our commitment. And then we meet on, or we async meet on Friday and say, kind of get a sense of how things are going. And then we release every Wednesday. So Tuesday we reassess and say, okay, well, what did we get done and what is going live? And I kind of realized, oh, well, what we're doing here in OKR is like a monthly sprint. And I picked a date midway through the quarter to connect with everyone and really get sharp on like, okay, well, we made this plan a month and a half ago. How are we progressing to plan? What have we learned? Has any of these actually, you know, in theory seemed really valuable? And now that we're in practice, we're realizing our time might be spent better elsewhere, or did we hit some unforeseen snags? And then we actively replanned based on that information we had, which has made delivering a lot more accurate.
No, that's great. That's great. Thanks, Michael.
You're on mute, Danielle.
any other words of wisdom or important things you want the team to know as we plan to share this video later today?
Not from me.
No, I thought also last quarter we had a theme, like it was drive metrics. I haven't really thought of a theme yet, but it was nice. It was just helpful in making decisions as we were going throughout the quarter of like, what should we focus on? And it's like, okay, well, the theme is this. So does this support the theme? If yes, great, let's continue talking. If it's turning out not to, well, that's our decision made for us. So we might want to maybe think of that over the week of like, what is our individual themes?
Yeah, a big one that's coming up for me just to share is definitely just, is the funnel healthy?
Yeah, right.
Right, like all the way through from the very top with like, it's worrying a lot of people that about.gitlab.com traffic appears to be flat. Now, keep in mind, a lot of people's traffic, we can't see it because they use ad blockers, there's other reasons. So we're going to try to see if we can find some proxies that might give us a sense that there actually is growth. Like one interesting thing is Safari is now blocking all cookies, but we could potentially like look at just Chrome traffic and that might tell a different story. Haven't done that analysis yet, but regardless, it's just a sense that like there's still so much mind share we could still be taking and our traffic could be a lot higher. So I think it's kind of like healthy funnel from top to bottom is
Healthy funnel, healthy repo.
Healthy funnel, healthy repo. It's like, can we be productive? Can we get things done? Are we setting ourselves up for, 10x bigger results in the future?
Get about.gitlab.com. It's Beachbod is the theme.
Yeah. Beachbod, I love that. I mean, now that it doesn't have to go to contribute this year. Someone said in the chat, they were like, oh, no, I don't have to stress about, all my coworkers seeing me in my swimsuit. And I hadn't even really thought of that bright, like silver lining there. And I think that's just excellent. So that cracked me up. So, yeah. All right. Well, thanks guys for putting these together. Thanks for engaging in the process and talking to everybody. I'm so proud that we have this figured out before the quarter starts. So I hope you are too.
Absolutely.